Azdaha is probably the most hated boss in the game, not because of lore reasons, but because of gameplay. Welcome back to Minpack, and by popular request we're doing a guide on how to deal with Azhdaha. Azhdaha is one of the only two bosses so far that switches his elements during the fight. The elements he gains might appear random, but you can actually see which one he's gonna gain in the front of the entrance. So before you assemble your team, you might want to check what his elements are for this week, as he takes less damage from the elements he controls. In general, when thinking of a team, you should consider having a strong shielder or healer on your team, as his attacks in the second and third phase deal damage over time, which can be negated by having a shield. An obvious choice would be Noelle, as she is both a healer and a shielder. Next to her, probably the best character lore and gameplay wise is Zhongli, but every other healer and shielder works. Remember, you can use the multiplayer to make it easier if you struggle to get your weekly materials. This however does not work for the first time. Now with your team assembled, you can start the fight. As I alluded to before, Azdaha works in phases. He always starts off with only one, that being the Geo element. He can obviously attack you in close range, but is also able to charge you over longer distances. He is also able to stay afar and use ranged attacks. Especially the melee attacks are hard to dodge, as you have to run twice for certain attacks to nullify all the damage. In his Geo form, he also likes to play as a rat and goes underground. In this form you can do nothing but dodge. Very fun gameplay, I know. Try to evade all attacks if possible, but it's not a shame if you get hit once or twice. When you have brought his health down to 67%, he starts to get access to additional element, which you were able to predict in the beginning. During this process he stomps the ground multiple times and pushes you away, dealing a fair bit of damage. After that he starts with an attack that's depending on the element he just gained. This attack is always the same and is the one he will start with. After that, he has the same attacks as before, but these pack a stronger punch and deal overtime damage now. The damage from the attacks themselves are manageable, but the overtime damage is a pain. This is where your shielder comes into play. If you have a shield, you won't suffer the overtime damage, whilst the healer has to heal all the damage you take. When you now decrease his HP down to 33%, he changes to his third phase and the same process as before begins anew. Be careful. He can still access the elements from the second phase, such as the water bubbles. The same things apply as before, but it feels like he deals even more damage, so keep your health up when possible. And that's how you defeat the most hated boss in the game. I hope it was useful to you and you liked it. Let me know what you want to see next and subscribe. This has been Minpack, and see you in the next one.